What up, Wholesale to Million family? In this video, I'm going to share with you the exact roadmap to your first $1 million, okay? So if you enjoy this video, be sure to, boom, smash the thumbs up. Once again, if it does add value to you and you are new to the family, welcome to the channel. Be sure to, boom, smash that subscribe button, but we're going to get right into it, okay? So you guys already know, if you've been following me, you already know how I am. I'm the type of guy that likes to get it's short, sweet, and just straight to the point, and we're just going to cut out all the BS. First off, I'm going to share with you what 99% of the people out there actually do, okay? So I'm going to show you the roadmap that 99% do, and only the 1% use the roadmap that I'm going to show you later to accumulate their first $1 million, so becoming the first millionaire in their family. So if that's you, you're like, Khang, I am wanting to be the first millionaire in my family, break the generation curse of being broke and poor, then let me show you exactly how it's done. So here's what 99.99% of people do, okay? Is that first, we all started here, okay? We're trading our time for the money. So we start at the J-O, the B, all right? And what most people do is that they work here to save their money. Majority of them don't even save any of their money, okay? And then after that, once they save up enough money, majority, 99%, trying to save up their money for a down payment on a house. And typically they go for an FHA, an FHA loan, all right? That only require them to put 3.5% down, all right, to buy the house, okay? Once they buy the house, now they settle down. Majority of them start to popping kids, all right? They start to pop kids, and then they'll take some of that money, if there is any, they put into the 401 the K, okay? And also too is some will also put it in like mutual funds or stocks or bonds, okay? That's what majority of do. And then they will wait for all of that and then they'll continue to work here until they're 65 and then retire, okay? This is 99% of what people actually do. Start at the J or the B, trading their time for the money, okay? I would say not a majority, obviously, work, try to save up their money, boom, boom, down payment on a house, pop kids, put their money in the 401k, their stocks, their bonds. They stuck here, working there until they're 65 and they retire. This is what 99% of the people out there do. And this is why they don't get rich. So let me share with you what does the 1% actually do to make the first $1 million, okay? I hope you're ready for this. TikTok family, if you're ready for this, double tap the screen, give this video a share, and let's rock and roll. YouTube, make sure you share this with your friends, your family, or whoever it is that you think will get some value out of this. Because this is how you're going to get ahead in life, okay? If you want to get it ahead in life, first, you need to start ahead, okay? You need to start early. Also, too, is I want every one of you to understand this, is that everybody that got rich has a plan. Okay, the question is, what is your plan? Nobody that I know that made their first million by accident. They all have a game plan. Let me show you the 1% game plan. This is what 1%, I would say, do. And we all started from the bottom, okay? So first, we get the J or the B, okay? Same thing. And then what we do is we save up that money. But now instead of saving up for a house, the next move you want to make is so here, when you start here, you want to live below your means. You want to save as much money from this as you possibly humanly can. So you got to live poor, live cheap, okay? To save up as much as you can. And then you take that money, and what you want to do, my friend, instead of buying a house, is you want to start a side hustle. You want to invest it in a business, okay, a side hustle that can make you more money. Now, if you don't know what side hustle to do, watch all the way to the end. I'm going to show you which side hustle that I started out doing turned to a business and made my first $1 million. Okay? So once you got to the side hustle, okay, well, once the side hustle makes more money than your J O to B, you quit this, and then what you need to do is how now you got to turn that side hustle, my friend, into a business. Okay? And then once the business makes you at least $25,000 a month, okay, makes you at least $25,000 a month. I'm talking about take home, net, in your pocket, deposit in the bank. Until that business can get there, all you got to do is you can continue investing the money to grow the business so it can get to $25,000 a month. Okay? Once you hit $25,000 a month, now what you do is you go buy. Now it's time for you to go buy a piece of real estate. But you do not want to buy a house, okay? Because when you buy a house, all you're doing is you're paying the house, man, to live in it. So what you need to do is you need to buy either a duplex, a 3 units, a 2 units, a 3 units, or 4 units, this is a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex, okay? So they just came out with a new law that this is still considered a residential. So you can still qualify for a 3.5% down with an FHA loan, okay? But the cool thing about buying a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex versus buying a house is that you can live in 1 unit. So let's just say that you have enough down payment for the 3%, because now your business, you're making $25,000 a month. It shouldn't be a problem to you, okay? It should be a piece of cake. So what you're going to do is you're going to buy, let's just say a duplex, a 2 units. You're going to live on one side, and then you're going to rent out the rest, and that unit will cover your mortgage. So now what you have created is that now you bought a duplex, okay? Let me erase this. This is the exact game plan that you want to do, my friend. Okay? So let me erase this. Okay? So you got to the point, okay? You now live in here. So you live here. This unit becomes a rental. And the income that you bring in from this rental should pay for the entire duplex. So now you're living rent-free. You're basically breaking even. You're just going to live there for rent-free. No money out of your pocket because you use the other units. Got it? So the next thing is now you're going to go from this, okay? Now that, and then the next thing is you want to do is now you're going to get your business, okay? You're going to continue, okay, raising that active income. So once you get to $25,000 a month now in your business, okay, you need to start building up. What you need to do is now how can you get this here, $25,000 to $100,000 a month? That's the goal, okay? So how can you get your business now that you have, right, your own piece of property that you don't have to pay for, and you're not throwing your money away, paying for rent, so you're good there. So the next question is, how can now you get your business from $25,000 a month to $100,000 a month? And that's by keep on reinvesting. So now we're talking about growth. Now, how do you actually grow and scale up your business? Okay? So which means you're going to invest more capital into people. Okay, so you're going to start hiring people. You're going to start investing into a system. Okay? And then obviously automation. That's the key. But all this is going to cost you money. People is going to cost you money. System is going to cost you money. And automation. Okay? And that's how you reinvest that $25,000 back into the business to get to the point where you're getting $100,000 a month. Okay? And that's how you make your first million, my friend. It's by one stream of income, not multiple stream of income. So you need to pick a vehicle, a business that can actually have a potential to make you $100,000 a month. Okay? So now once you first hit your first million, now you can start buying investment property. So instead of focus on retiring with the 401k, okay? Or people said SP, what is it, SP 500. What you need to focus on is once you get to the point, I would say starting right around when you're making about $50,000 a month. When you're starting to make $50,000 a month, my friend, you need to start buying at least one investment. Okay, you need to start buying one investment a year. When you're getting to $50,000 a month, you need to buy one piece of property a year. Okay? And that's how you start. Now that you're getting rich and you're building wealth at the same time. And also too is by buying investment property, guess what? It helps you reduce and lower your taxes, which means you pay less to Uncle Sam. Because when you're making $50,000 a month, my friend, that's $500,000 a year. You need something, okay, to write off. Otherwise, you'll be paying Uncle Sam 40 to 50% of what you make, depending on where you live. In California, you're paying 50%. So you need to start buying asset, okay, that you can depreciate, that write off against your taxes. Make sense? So now, once again, if you don't know what side hustle to do or what business to start, I'm going to show you which side hustle or business that I did that made me a millionaire. My first $1 million, okay? So here we go. And I'm going to show you how you can do it, which is $250. That's all it takes. Okay, 250 bucks. If you guys like this so far, you're like, Khang, dude, this add a lot of value to me. Then make sure you smash the thumbs up, YouTube family. I'm going to check to see how much we got here on TikTok family. You guys like this? Okay. So now, first off, for those of you who don't know what I do, it's called wholesaling real estate. It is the quickest and the safest way to make money in real estate versus fix and flip versus buy and hold. I need all of you to understand that fix and flip, okay, require lots of capital because you got to buy the property, and then you need to fix it up, which is risk, okay? Whether you're having your own cash or you borrow money from somebody else, it's still a lot of risk, and it requires a lot of capital to start and to scale. Make sense? Okay, so for example, in my area, so we just got a property under contract, okay? The buyer would have to buy for $400,000. Whether he or she pay $400,000 out of their own pocket or using somebody else's money, it's still a debt, right? You still got to pay that person back. So they got to come up with $400,000 to buy this piece of property, and they'll probably have to put in at least $60,000 for rehab. So now they're all in for $460,000, okay? And it's probably going to take them at least 3 months, okay, to actually renovate the property. Now they're in it for $460,000. In the meantime, this 3 month, you got to pay interest on the money that you borrow. Okay? So now after that, 3 months, once it's finished, now they got to list it on the market with a realtor, and it's probably going to take them another, I would say 2 to 3 months to actually get it sold. Because now you're selling it to a first-time home buyer, the bank is going to take 45 to 60 days to actually close on the deal. So which means fix and flip, high risk, harder to scale, lots of capital, and it takes you typically 4 to 6 months to get paid. Okay? Too long. I did this whole fix and flip for 4.5 years, and I can tell you right now, it's probably one of the most riskiest and the most stressful business that you can get into. There's so many moving parts, from the lender, the contractor, the city, the realtors. All right? There's just too much moving pieces, too much moving parts. So if you're new, let's say if you're a new real estate investor, I never would recommend you do fix and flip to start out. It is highly dangerous. One mistake on the purchase, on your first deal, it can wipe you out. It can wipe you out, my friend. So I don't like that game, okay? Even if you're new, even if you were experienced, I wouldn't recommend it, okay? Why go the hard way when you can do it the easy way, okay? Why do it the hard way? Why risk all the capital when I can show you how to make money without any of the risk? Well, there's risk to everything. But I'm going to go from 90% risk to 1%, 0.1%. Okay, the next thing is why not buy and hold? Okay, now why not buy and hold? Because you need to understand the buy and hold game is a 10 to 20 year game plan. Okay, the buy and hold is a 10 to 20 year game plan. So unless you want to wait 10 to 20 years to get rich, then do this. But I don't know about you. I don't want to wait 10 to 20 years to get rich. I want to get to $1 million, I would say in 5 years or less. And with today, technologies, with AI, with software, with tools, with opportunities, I do believe that anyone can go from 0 to $1 million in 5 years or less. It comes down to is how much work you willing to put in, how much capital do you have to start? Because the more capital, it's better, right? It cuts down it's shorting things a little bit, okay? But I don't know about you, but I think 5 years is very reasonable, okay? So buy and hold. So let's just say you have $50,000 in the bank. If you choose the buy and hold route, you take the $50K. You go and you put a down payment on an investment property. So now you got $50K, you're going to tie it into an investment property, and this property, that's how much it pays you a month. This is after all the mortgage, expense, landscaping, maintenance, after everything is being paid, okay? Most property that you buy will only net you around $250 a month. So you basically took $50,000 and traded for $250 a month. So how many $250 a month do you have to acquire to get to the point where you can make $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month? A lot. So you need to buy a lot, okay? But if you're working here, making, let's just even say $100,000 a year, how are you going to be able to afford to buy a lot of these? To get to the point where you're making $25,000, $50,000, or $100,000 a month from that passive income. Almost impossible to do it within a year, 2 years, 3 years, even 5 years. Okay? So what you need to do, this is why buy and hold, it's a 10 to 20 year game plan. So let's just say that you're making, I honestly believe in today's world with inflation, cost of living, you have to make at least, I would say, $25,000 a month for you to live comfortably. $25,000, because if you're in let's just say if you're making $10,000 a month, if you live in New York or California in one of the expensive market, $10,000 a month, it's just barely getting you by, barely getting you by. You're still living paycheck to paycheck. But I think when you get to $25,000 a month, I think this is a good starting point. That's $300,000 a year. It's a very good starting point. So whether you're New York, California, whatever it is, $25,000 a month. 15,000 could go to whatever it is, car payment, your rent, and whatever. You still be able to save about $10,000 a month if you know how to budget and live frugally. But $25,000 a month, doesn't matter where you live. It's a good amount to start, okay? So to get to $25,000 and you're only making $250 from your rental, it's going to take you a long time, at least 10 to 20 years. But let me show you how you can do this within 1 year, your first year, okay? So that's why I don't think the buy and hold is a good game that you, so listen, this is how real estate works. If you rather get future money, then you buy and hold. But if you need today's money, you're like, Khang, I need it today, then you wholesale. Let me share with you what wholesaling is and how it can change your life and make you the next millionaire. Okay? So here we go. Now listen, I want you to understand that knowledge without execution is worthless. You know, everything that I share with you, if you don't implement, if you don't go and execute on it, nothing will work. Because I get DM all the time. Every single time when I share this, I get so much DM and say, hey, Khang, does it work? Come on, man. Shit, bro. The question is, do you work? I have students that are just closed their first deal for $27,000. We got a deal that we're about to close and make $50,000. So you tell me. So instead of sitting there questioning, does it work? Dude, get into the game. Try it. Learn it. Okay, let me share with you what wholesaling is and how it can make you the first millionaire. Okay, I just want to check to make sure that TikTok is good. TikTok family, we got 500 people on. TikTok family, double tap the screen, give this video a share. The next time I checked, if we can get to 1,000 people, I'm gonna give you something completely for free. Okay, the contract that you need for free. So do your thing, TikTok family. Okay, here we go. So here's what wholesaling is. So we need to find a distressed property. Typically, these are rundown houses. Okay, and you probably see them around your city all the time. The question is, most of you don't know what to do with it. And most of the people look at it and say, oh man, that house ugly. I don't want it. I don't want to buy it. So most people, all they do is they go buy the nicest house in the neighborhood. And that's why you're not making money. You see, listen, if you want to make money in real estate, you got to think like an investor, not a homeowner. Investor, we look for rundown houses. We look for property that nobody wants, so we can buy it at a discount. But the cool thing about wholesaling is there's no buying, there's no fixing, and you don't need a license to actually get started. And I'm going to show you how you can do it with just $250 and with a laptop, a phone, and internet connection. You can be in your pajama and be able to wholesale real estate. Okay? So first, that's the thing that you need to understand. If you want to make money and get rich in real estate, you got to think like an investor, not a homeowner. We do not look for the nicest house because there's no equity in the nice house. All the equity in the nice house has already been taken out by the seller. Okay? So there's no equity in there. We want to buy a house that nobody wants to buy. Okay? And we want to target people that are in distressed situation, foreclosure. They just inherit the property. Or maybe they're in a divorce. Okay? Or maybe they're tired landlord. It's been a rental and they don't want to be a landlord anymore. Maybe he just turned 65 or 75 and he just want to sold and be done. Okay? Or it needs a lot of work and the seller doesn't have the money to fix it up. Okay? It could be a hoarder house. So we're looking for that types of people. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do, okay, once we find them, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to negotiate a deal with them. Okay? We're going to negotiate a deal and we're going to lock this property under contract. Okay? So let's just say that we're able to negotiate a deal. This property, let's just say it's worth $350,000. Okay? But because, right, it's in a, let's just say this property is worth $350,000. Okay? But it's in pre-foreclosure. So if the homeowner don't sell it, they're going to lose it to the bank. So they'd rather walk away with some money than walk away with no money and getting their credit destroyed. That's where we step in and we're like, hey, let us help you with that. Okay? Let me take it off your hands, give you some money to walk away. Dude, that's a win-win for both. Okay? Because if they don't do that, the only person that's going to win is the bank. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, the property's worth $350,000, but we can only offer you $200,000 because it needs work. It needs a ton of work, and we can close on this thing in 30 days. Okay? The seller say, okay, let's get it done. Okay? So we're going to sign a purchase and sale contract. So it's called a purchase and sale contract. Okay? And the cool thing about this purchase, and we're going to lock it, we're going to secure that property for 30 days. That means within that 30 days, we get to control this piece of property here. Nobody can buy it. The seller cannot sell to nobody except to us. And in this contract, it gives us equitable interest, which means it actually allows us to sell this piece of paper, my friend. Let me go grab it, okay? Let me go grab the contract and show you, okay? So TikTok family, double tap the screen, give this video a share, okay? If we can get to 1,000 people on this live, when I checked, I'm going to give away the contract for free, okay? So this contract right here, guys, in here it said it give us equitable interest. When the seller signs, they agree to sell it to you for $200,000. We agree to buy it for $200,000, but it also said on here that we can sell this contract to anybody we want for a profit, and the seller sign and agree. Boom. So in that 30 days, we can sell that piece of paper to anybody and make a profit. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We never have to buy the property. We never have to spend time to fix it up. Okay? We're going to control this piece of the property with this contract for 30 days. And a lot of you will be like, well, Khang, what about the earnest money deposit? One of my students, he secured the property with just $10. And he ended up making, I think, $18,000 on that piece of property. He puts up $10 as an EMD and walk away with $18,000. I don't know about you, but I can't even calculate the return on that. What is the return on that? 10,000, 10,000x? See, this is the beauty of wholesaling, okay? So that's not a whole lot of risk, okay? If you were to buy and fix this property, you would have to come up with 200,000 plus the amount of repair, okay? So now what we're going to do, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find some local investor. And this is, we call them the cash buyer, okay? We're going to find some local investor. Typically, it's a house flipper. Someone who want to buy, fix, and flip the property, or who wants to buy, fix it, and keep it as a long-term rental. Okay? Once we find them, we're just going to sell the contract over to them for $25,000 more. We got on the contract for $200,000. We're going to sell it to this buyer for $225,000. And some of you be like, well, Khang, who paid for the closing costs and the fees? The buyer. Buyers pay for everything. So when we tell them, hey, you're buying for $225,000, that's exactly what they're going to buy for, and they're going to pay for all the closing costs, all the fees, and we're going to walk away with $25,000 net. So imagine if you just do one of these a month. One. That's all it takes, my friend. If I can do 5, 6 a month, you can do 1 a month. Okay? Now, let's just say that you like, Khang, dude, I don't know, man. I don't even think I can do 1 a month. Okay. Well, what if you do 1 deal every 3 months, 4 times a year? Because there's 4 quarters in a year. So even if you do 1 every 3 months, that is, my friend, $100,000 that you can add to your income, which is the side hustle. And you can do this part-time. This is something that you can do a few hours a day, or maybe just on the weekend. Okay? Who is going to do this? Now, I show you how wholesaling works. I'm going to even take a step further. I'm going to show you how to do it. You ready for this? Okay? All right, YouTube family, let's rock and roll. Now I'm going to show you how you can actually do this with just $250, laptop, your phone, and internet connection. So I'm going to share with you the software that I use to wholesale completely virtual. So comment in your city and your states. I'm going to go into your city. I'm going to go into your state right now. I'm going to pull up the list, And let's just say we're going to pull up a list of pre-foreclosure. These are people who are in pre-foreclosure but haven't been foreclosed on. So there's a lot of motivation. So come into your city, your states. I'm going to show you how many people are currently in pre-foreclosure in your city that are just desperately get rid of their property. So comment in your city, your states, and let's rock and roll. Will everyone be okay with $10 EMD or $100? So peso, in every single one of my contract, because we have the money now, I automatically put in there $250. Seller never question about the EMD. I have students that put $10. I have students that put $100, just $1. So when you know how to negotiate and you know how to talk to the seller on the phone, most sellers that you work with directly never ask about earnest money deposit. They don't even know that it exists. One last concern. So the last concern is, a lot of you are going to ask me this. So Khang, well, what happened if you lock it for 30 days and you're trying to market for $225 and you can't find a buyer? What would happen? Are you forced to buy the property? This is why I love wholesaling real estate. So let's say you can't find a buyer. Once again, my friend, in this contract, I put all the contingent that you need to back out. Inspection contingent, walkthrough contingent, partner contingent. So if I can find a buyer, I can call the seller back. I can be like, hey, I can get more. I can ask for more time, or I can ask for price reduction, or I can just cancel the contract. Boom. And I walk away, and 9 out of 10 times, you even get your earnest money deposit back. But like I said, in every business, there is a risk. So, but for wholesaling, the worst come to worst is you lose your earnest money deposit to the seller. So in my case, every single one of my contract, I put $250. For me, I'm willing to risk the $250 to make $25K. Who here willing to risk $250 to make $25,000? It's a no-brainer. But imagine if you actually bought the property, right, for $200,000, and then you're trying to fix and flip it, and then the market just take a turn, right? Or you start to buy, or you buy the property, and then you got into the whole fixing it up, and you open it up, and you be like, dude, I thought it only cost $50,000 to rehab it. Now it's going to cost me $100,000. Now you're upside down, and that's the risk. Okay, too much risk there. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I do to wholesale real estate. Hold on a second. I just show you. Okay, now I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. We got 500 people on TikTok live. We can't get to 1,000. We're trying to get to 1,000 TikTok family. Let's rock and roll. TikTok, you guys, if you watch me, okay, we get to 1,000 people on the live. When I checked, I can see it, okay? I'll give you my contract, no cost. I'll give you all the contract that you need to get into the game. The purchase and sale agreement, the assignment agreement, the double closing contract, the addendum, the JV contract, you get it all, my friend. Okay, so here we go. So this is the software that I use, okay? I'm going to share with you the software, okay? And I'm going to show you how you can sign up today. Hold on a second. I'm sharing it. Click on share. Bam. Okay, so this is the software that I use. It's called kingdata.ai. Hold on a second. I got to stop the sharing. Okay, let me log in really quick. Okay, hold on. Let me log in. Oh, shit. I'm not a robot. All right, I'm logged in. Hold on a second. Let me add. Okay, so here's the software that I use. Okay. Is this better to a title company or a real estate attorney? So Red, it depends on what state you're in. I know that in some states like New York or New Jersey, it's a attorney states, not a title state. But most states is title states. So if you got attorney or a title company, I would always go with the title company versus an attorney. Because when you tell a seller, hey, my attorney is going to do, now they feel like the attorney is working for you, not for them. But if it's a title company, it just makes them feel like it's a third party, right? So I would always choose a title company over attorney if you have the option. But I know some states you don't have the choice but to go with an attorney. Okay, so Khang, let's do Little Rock. Okay, I've never done this. Okay, so Little Rock, Arkansas. Okay, so now here's the software that I use that allows me to literally go into any city, any states I want and pull any list that I freaking want. So I'm going to go here and then I'm going to go to property leads. Now listen, I'm not a high-tech guy. So if things get complicated, dude, I'm not going to know how to use it. But this is so easy to use and so friendly user. So now I'm going to go here and then I'm going to go to property and then I'm going to go to Little Rock, Arkansas. Arkansas is like AK, right? AK stand for Arkansas. Little Rock, Arkansas. Oh, AR. Boom. There we go. Okay. So whoever it is, okay, ask me this. Here's what you got. So now we got a list. We're going to go to filter, okay, because we're going to narrow down the list. I typically go in here. I get rid of apartments. I get rid of others. I get rid of townhouse. I get rid of condos. So I just want to focus on single family and multifamily. That's it. That's all I want to focus on. Okay, and then now, look, there are 196 people right now that's in your city, bro, that are in pre-foreclosure. The cool thing about pre-foreclosure, that these are property that before they get foreclosed on, there's still time for us to go in there and scoop it up for a good deal. Okay, so I like pre-foreclosure versus foreclosure. There's 196, and then all you do is you click on see results. Bam! So there's 196 here. Single family, multifamily that are in pre-foreclosure. And the cool thing is anyone who signs up for the software today, I will pay for your skip tracing. So you never have to spend another dollar, another dime paying for skip tracing again. And let me share with you, before that, it costs about 15 cents per skip, right? But you never have to pay. Now, the cool thing is before that, you have to upload, download, export, import, right, to get the seller contact info. Now, they made it so simple. You click on this and watch this, my friend. So this house here is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 725 square feet. My internet is so slow, but watch. All the seller contact info, it's just going to pop up right here. Look at that. Mike, boom, his email, John, right? His phone number. So they got the phone number, they got the email. And then the whole do not call. The whole do not call, it does not apply to us real estate investor anymore. They just lift the law, they just remove it. And you can double check to verify, right? But I have to already double check that they removed it. So now, guess what? We can call the do not call us and won't get in trouble as a real estate investor, okay? But you guys can ask ChatGPT to verify the information I have. So I tell my VA to call everybody, even if they're on the do not call us. Okay, so there we go. And then you go down here. It'll tell you all the information about the property. Bam, bam, bam. All the information. So when you're on the phone with the seller, you know exactly what they're talking about. Okay? And they're in pre-foreclosure. High desperate motivation. Okay? And now a lot of times what we can do is this right here. It gives us the retail value and it gives us the wholesale value. Oh, shoot, I got to go. Shoot, I forgot. Okay, Lon, I'm coming. Bye. Man, I totally forgot. All right, TikTok family, I got to go. Oh, my God, we have 16,000 likes too. Jeez, okay, I got to bounce, but here we go. So here it is. You go in here, you pull the list, 196, you call them, and then, start making offers. So here's the software that I use. It's called kingdata.ai. Instead of .com, it's kingdata.ai. Once again, Anyone who sign up for the software, I will pay for your skip tracing, and you never have to ever pay for skip tracing again. And if you want access to pre-foreclosure, foreclosure property, you have to sign up for the pro account, not the basic account, which is going to cost you about $250 a month, $249 month to month. You can cancel anytime you want. Okay, you guys, I have to pick this up on a different day. I apologize, but we got to end this live. Holy cow! In 40 minutes, we got 9,000 people on TikTok live with over 16,000 likes. I appreciate each and every single one of you that are here. Man, I can't believe I have to cut this short. But that is the software I use to pull the list to also find my cash buy. If you want to learn more about the software, I did a 3-day challenge that helped Brian closed his first deal for $18,000. I'm going to share with you that replay completely for free. The link is in my description. You too, family. Take care. Until next time, let's go get this money. I'm out. Appreciate you guys. Oh, by the way, for those of you who wants to work with me and my team, spend 6 months with me on a mentorship coaching, go to coachwithkhang.com. Bye. I'm out.